Hi, this is Steve Piscitelli, Growth and Resilience Network, on the road at Brucci's restaurant here in Jacksonville, Florida. It is a Monday night. We've got Mike Shackelford performing, and we're going to talk to people in the audience, a little different than normal, and some of the guest performers that'll be here tonight about what music means to them. How does it keep them resilient? How does it keep them balanced? And how does it play? How does it play out with their well-being? How does it help them go to their happy place? Why is music their legal drug of choice? And how do they turn to it? Do they play the music, write the music, or just enjoy the community when they come out to a venue like the one we're at tonight? So stay tuned. We're going to hear from a number of people tonight. All right, I have Lindy and Elaine sitting with me, and they're going to tell us what music means to them. How does it put them in their happy place? Who wants to start? Lindy.
I'm always amazed how someone has been able to put into words exactly how I feel.
Is it the words of the music or the music itself? The melody, the instrumentation, or you can't separate them?
I can't separate it because I think probably mainly it's the lyrics that draw me to it, but it's always the music because I love the melody and the way that makes you feel. But the thing is, whenever I hear, especially an old song, it takes me back to a happy time where I can remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, and how it made me feel. And it's a wonderful thing because, especially when you get old, it makes you feel young again.
You know, it's interesting. There is some research being done in music therapy and using music with Alzheimer's patients. I was just recently reading about it and how that clicks in on a memory and it helps them connect with a time in their life. And so it's really pretty powerful. Elaine, how about you?
Hi, Steve. You know, music takes me back even to my childhood. I think about the times with my dad and an old Victrola and playing Johnny Cash and playing other things and playing fabulous, fabulous symphony music that my dad and mom would listen to. And that's such a nostalgic place to be. But then after that, whether you're happy, sad, crying, looking for answers, or wherever you are in life, you can always go back and have a friend and have the comfort next to you of the love, of the warmth, of the music, of the melody to take you to a place that can never be reached any other way.
So music's an emotion also. It is not just, let's get up and dance. It's bringing you back someplace. And I love it. You talked about symphony music and country music. So it's all types of music. If music is a color, what color is it? Elaine.
My color's blue because it's my favorite color, and it's a happy color. But there's so many colors associated with music that I can think about. With country music, I think about red and yellows and browns because it takes me to like places where there's horses and fairgrounds and people talking about their life.
Lindy, if music's a color, what is it?
Actually, it can start yellow and go all the way to black because that's all moods. And for me, I think probably blue and black would describe my favorite music. A little darker, a little more bluesy, and not to say that I don't enjoy good happy music because I do. That makes me want to dance, but I really can feel especially the old black blues music like the Delta blues and all of that, which I think has inspired some of my favorite music from from the 60s on to now, and I think that that's probably the color, blue and black.
Yeah, the range of emotions, range of memories. Lindy Elaine, thank you very much. And we have a line of people waiting to talk, so we will be back shortly. All right, this is Steven, back again here at Brucci's, and I've got Kurt sitting with me, another one of the performers tonight. And Kurt is going to talk to us like the other guests tonight, but what is it about music that helps him stay grounded? Why do you come to these venues? Why do you come and play? Why not just play in your living room? What is it about these venues that help you stay grounded in your own life?
Well, actually, I do play at home, but it's a lot of fun to come here and play as well. For one thing, Mike is a true professional, great guy, passionate about what he does, and just a wonderful guy to do this every Monday night, I think for 7 years. So I love being a part of that, and it's a great vibe. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody here likes music. They all like it for different reasons, but it makes them feel good, so they show up. And they've got a great regular crowd that shows up every Monday night. So it's fun to be a part of it.
What's the juice you get from doing cover songs?
I guess the juice would be that I pick songs that I really enjoy and have always just enjoyed on my own. And getting to practice those in preparation for Monday night is a lot of fun. And it's great when I strike a chord with somebody in the crowd. And they're like, I love that song. And I'm like, well, great. I love it too. So that was fun.
Yeah. And obviously then that really makes you feel like you've made, in maybe a small way, maybe a big way, depending on where that person is in his or her life, you made a difference. And that, I think, is a huge thing with music. What is it about, beside the music, Kurt, is there something about the venue, and I don't mean just Brucci's, any music venue out in the public sphere, in the public space, is there something about that helps you with your own well-being? You mentioned you connect with someone in the audience, but when you're not performing and you're just sitting here listening, is there anything that you get energized by?
That I love to hear live music. I love it. And I love walking into a place I've never been into and somebody's playing guitar and singing and stops you in your tracks and you go, wow, they're having a great time. It strikes a chord with you. They're playing a song you haven't heard in 20 years and you're jazzed. So if I can do that and somebody walks in and do the same thing for them, fantastic.
All right, one more question, because I know you're going to be up on stage, maybe next. I've been asking the other folks tonight, if music is a color, what color is it to Kurt?
I think it would have to be blue, and not blue in the blues sense, but blue in just a very cool, calm, serene kind of thing. Puts me in a great place.
All right, Kurt, thank you, and I look forward to hearing you tonight. I appreciate it. All right, we're back at Brucci's here talking with folks about what music means to them and why do they come to a place, a venue like Brucci's for music. What is it that draws them? What is it that connects them to the music? And we got Tim sitting with us, and Tim is one of the performers tonight also, and he's going to tell us a little bit about how music connects with him, his well-being, brings him to his happy place. So here we go. Tim, thanks for being with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be with you. It really does bring me to my happy place. I'm an older man. I'm in my late 60s. I've had a very full life, and I've had some important moments in my life where things got to be too serious. And if we were jumped into a time machine and I brought you all with me and we went back to my early days, my teenage years, I was in a band. And I was in a band that was played mostly at Catholic, what's called CYOs, Catholic Youth Organization halls.
I remember them.
You do? Okay. And I was the singer. And I also played trumpet. And in the band, we had some fine players, and we actually had a man that became a head of a jazz show in New York who was blind. His name was Paul Rakowski. And we had another fellow that his name was Bobby Rydell, but it wasn't the Bobby Rydell. And he played lead guitar, and we would go to these Catholic youth organizations and we would play. So then I went off to college and so forth. And I know that many of you that are listening to this understand that back in your life, you can go back, it doesn't matter how old you are, and you can have a smile on your face because you'll remember things that made you feel good.
From the music.
From the music. So here I am, and I walk into Brucci's 4 years ago, right where we are now, and I see this guy, Mike Shackelford, who I had already heard was an outstanding performer and songwriter. And he started to play and sing, and I got enthralled with that. And this friend of mine said, "Why don't you sing one?" Because they were doing some open mic. I said, "Oh, I couldn't do that. I haven't done this in 35 years. So this guy thrust a guitar in my hand, and I did play the guitar a little bit. And I sang a song, and everybody seemed to enjoy it, and the hook was set. Because then after that, I started working on the guitar and playing and singing at home. And at first, the dogs would run out of my den, but then they came back in, and it became very much a part of my life. But unbeknownst to me, it was not just standing up in front of people. It was the enthusiasm and the camaraderie of the other musicians, because music brought us all together. And it didn't matter what my history or how much money I had or any of that. What mattered was that I was enjoying myself and sharing with them. So I'll leave you with an analogy. I'm sitting here with Steve, and I have a glass of wine, red wine, in front of me. So we go back to the beginning of civilization. Wine was one of the first things they created. And the wine was supposed to be something that they used in honoring, religious honorings, and was also something that families used so that not only pray, but make themselves feel good over each other. And in that glass of wine came throughout all the centuries, the companion to wine was music. And that's why I'm drinking a glass of wine right now, because in a few minutes I'm going to have to sing.
I love that, Tim. And the idea of the camaraderie is cool. I think that's what does bring people together. And my experience in the music world, at least in this area of the world, is that the musicians are very supportive of one another. Very supportive. Nobody comes to a club to have a bad time. They come in to have a good time. And if you are a musician, an entertainer, a connector, a relationship builder, you build from that. You do. Last question for you. If music is a color, what color is it?
It's the same color as a good Cabernet Sauvignon.
And with that, Tim, have fun tonight on stage. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with another one pretty soon. Thank you. All right, we're back. We have Diane has slid into the studio booth right now. We're here at Brucci's. We have a new entertainer up. And Diane, we're talking to folks tonight about music and what it means to your well-being, what it means to your resilience, how it puts you in your happy place. Maybe it's your legal drug of choice. I don't know how you look at music, but tell us how you connect to music and how music connects to you.
I'm a child of the 70s, so music has always been a significant part of my life, and it always opens you up emotionally, and so there can be great healing or just a connection that identifies with yourself and what you're going through.
So it's because I've been hearing from other folks tonight, there's a range of emotions. And you see it, do you see it as cathartic? Do you see it as I'm having a bad day and this helps me get through it? I'm having a great day and this helps me amplify it.
Yes. Like when you have grief, you need to release the grief, and sometimes a song will just connect with you and you identify with it, and you can release that grief, and it makes you emotionally stronger. And sometimes there's happy tears because you relate to a song about your children. And I'm also a therapist, so I use music a lot in therapy to help people heal.
Are you using it with a particular age group? And can you just briefly tell us how that is done from a music therapy standpoint?
Mostly I have worked regarding music with teenagers, and they've been going through hard times, in school or in their home, and I have them bring in the music that they listen to and let them tell me what it means to them. And then I will suggest songs to listen to, like right in the office also, just as I'm led to do so. And it resonates with them and evokes a memory. And I think with the elderly people, I've seen videos of that, it evokes a memory, and they connect with that memory, and it helps them remember clearly what happened. And ones that even has Alzheimer's that don't even speak, they can sing a song. That's how it's recorded into their brain. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And this idea that, music is as spiritual as it might sound, it is spiritual. It is connection to the soul. And so when people come into these places, I think people who don't get it would look in and say, well, that's a restaurant, or for the bar scene, that's a bar, but you still have a connection. It's more than, it's more than the food. It's more than the drink. It's that music. One last thing. When you look around a place like you're in tonight, what do you see music doing for the community? Does it help build a community within a room of strangers?
I think it brings people together, and I think it strengthens the community because they kind of have the common bond of the music and what they like to listen to. And also listen to Mike Shackelford. I've always followed him, how he encourages other musicians. And that's always just resonated in my heart. And your soul to me is your mind, will, and your emotions. And that's what's kind of strummed when you listen to music. And it can bring purpose, it can bring release, it can bring joy, it can bring dancing. It's just wonderful.
And some other folks have said it tonight, too, that one of the things that music does, it's encouraging. It is... it's inspiring. It is about the community, and it's about, I'm here to clap for you. I'm here to cheer you on. And it's about us, not about me. And I think that's pretty cool. All right, last question. I've asked every person this. If music is a color, what color is music for Diane?
It's tropical blue, because it brings an ocean of emotion.
All right, it's interesting. And for the folks who've been listening to this whole podcast, you've heard that color come up a few times, haven't you? All right, we'll be back with our next guest. Thank you very much. All right, folks, we're back with Brian. Brian, I believe, was the first performer tonight after Shaq, and he's been here all evening. And he wanted to step into the GRN studio booth here and share his feelings and his thoughts about music as it relates to well-being, music as it relates to resilience. So, Brian, when it comes to music, you're a performer, but you're also an audience member. What do you see as music's role in resilience for people, music's role in well-being, in health, in balance?
Well, thanks. I think it just means everything. It certainly does to me, and with all of the performers that come here, and you have a long day in your regular job. I'm a lawyer by day, and I just don't know what I would do without it. I mean, even when I'm not performing in a place like this, I'm playing music at night when I get home just to, I don't know, a lot of stress and all kinds of stuff just comes out. And certain days I need to play certain songs. Certain days I need to play really slow songs. Certain days I need to play really upbeat songs. And it's just in feeling. And Mike Shackelford does such a great job with all of us and all us old guys that wish they had done what Shaq had done, and instead of playing music for a living, I went and got a real stinking job for a living. But I would rather do this. I can tell you that right now.
And now you're getting to do that, and it sounds like it's not to put words in your mouth, Brian, but it almost sounds like that music becomes a mood modulator for you. When you're stressed, okay, I'm going to get out of that. I'm going to modulate into something else, and hopefully, happier, more joyful, more content, and where you can take a deep breath. That's as a performer. How about as a listener, as a consumer? Is it this? Are you seeing the same type of connection to music, or is there another level for you?
No, as a consumer, I mean there are just there's so much out there that we have available, and yeah, I mean it's the same kind of thing. When I feel like just being a consumer, I consume the same kind of music that I feel like performing, and especially when I'm in a position where I can't perform, like I'm in my car or I'm driving from one hearing to another, and I just need to hear that song, I just need to hear that song. And so it helps a lot.
Maybe you can get the judges to start putting soundtracks into the courtroom, I mean, that might be an interesting new approach to jurisprudence. If music is a color, Brian, what color is music for you?
Well, again, for me, that it changes. My color would change on, if not a daily basis, sometimes an hourly basis. Sometimes it's got to be black, and sometimes it's red, like really red, and sometimes it's real like aqua blue. And so it changes as my moods change.
I appreciate you being with us, and thanks for the music tonight. All right, folks, we will be back. All right, we're back at Brucci's. There's a breakup on the stage right now, and sitting here with me is Karen. And Karen is a music fan, and she travels the circuit, it looks like, as one of those people that she enjoys good music, she enjoys energy, but she's going to share with us. Karen, what is it about music that energizes you?
To me, music breathes life. It just makes you happy. It brings you to a point that you can listen to the words, listen to the melodies, and they always apply to something in your life, either at that time or in times past. And music just brings it together, whether it's with friends or with family.
So, building on that, Karen, is music a memory hook for you? Does it bring you back to a time, wherever that time might be?
Yes, it does. I was a child grew up in the 50s, and the 60s was my time. And my time was Motown, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Woodstock, even though I was married at the time of Woodstock and didn't even know what was going on. But after it was over with, I knew what Woodstock was.
When you come to a venue like Brucci's, and it could be Brucci's or some other music environment, besides the music, because the music obviously provides an ambiance, what is it about the people in the audience? Is there anything about the people in the audience that adds to the energy, to your well-being? Does it help rejuvenate you on a bad day to be around these folks?
It's all about the people in the audience. They're my friends. They're my family. It's the singers. It's the other ones like me who just come and listen to the music. They are part of my family. They know about me. They know about my family. They know about my grandchildren. I know about them. And it's all just part of the music.
Yeah, and I love what you said. It's all about the people. And the good entertainers know that, the good speakers, the good teachers. Shaq was my first interview first conversation on this podcast channel. And we talked about that, and he's a master at it. It's never about, at least it should not be about the person behind the microphone. It should be about the person that we're looking at, that we're talking to. And music talks to the soul. All right, last question. If music is a color, what color is it to Karen?
A very beautiful blue, like the sky.
You know, this is amazing. Just about everybody I've asked so far tonight has come up with blue. It is phenomenal. Everybody is coming up with blue. Karen, thanks. Now, listen, I noticed that as you were talking, you're the first one to have drawn a crowd here in my studio booth. And you have someone sitting next to you, and I was just wondering, would she like to add to this? She would, okay. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. And what does music mean to you?
Hello, my name is Trisha Liller, and I have always just loved music. It takes you to a different place. It makes you forget about your problems.
And when you're here with someone like Karen, it's about the company. It's about the people, isn't it? Yeah. Well, thanks for being our cameo guest here. This is phenomenal. I haven't had that all night. All right, folks, we'll be back. We got a line of people that just can't wait to get into the studio tonight. All right, this is Steve back again at Brucci's. And sitting in front of me is Dan. He has a nickname of Shifty Gears. I don't know. Maybe he'll tell you something about that. But, Dan, tell us how coming to a venue like Brucci's or any other place you play, what it does for you in your own well-being. What does it do for Dan as a person? And maybe even share a little bit about when you're on stage and you're looking out at an audience, how do you connect with them through music? Because there's the distance from the stage to the audience. So let's start with that, okay?
First of all, I'll go to your first question. I come to these, this has been my way of my social life basically for the last many years actually. It's the one way that I know I can go almost any place in the country, find an open mic and meet people. And I moved here just almost exactly 2 years ago from Colorado, and I know so many people here now, but it's all just from meeting people at the open mics.
So it's a camaraderie, and you feel it when you said like you could be in Colorado doing this, Jacksonville, somewhere in between, and you've got a feeling even with somebody you've never met, and it's the music that's sounds like it's the common denominator, the connector, the link.
It's definitely the common denominator. As I say, it's been my social life, and about everybody that I know here now that I associate with outside of music, I have met through the music here. It's one thing that keeps me going. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's been the one constant in my life. Bad times, it's the one thing I always had to fall back on. When my dad died back in 1970, I sat and played guitar for hours and hours and hours on end. And just, it's all I could do.
And you're a songwriter as well. As a guitar player, does the songwriting help you? It sounded like when your father passed, the guitar helped you in that transition phase. Does your songwriting today do that same thing? Does it help you transition in life? Or is it not quite that serious, Steve? You know, it's just I'm having a good time. I got an inspiration while I was at the red light, and I'm writing a song.
Most of my songs have been, or many of them have been kind of cathartic for me. Like I go through a breakup with a girlfriend or a wife or whatever. And some of the songs are sad, some of the songs are angry, but they definitely are my catharsis. And I am a songwriter. I've been writing for a long time. As a matter of fact, I won a songwriting contest just yesterday.
Really? Congratulations.
So, that was kind of exciting for me. And one of the songs I played was a song about my dad, which maybe I'll play that tonight.
When you write your songs, you said sometimes it's cathartic, and when you've been on stage virtually all over this country, many locations. Can you think of one moment in your music life that when you think of it, you say, wow, that is something that'll stay with me forever. That really made a difference to me.
There have been so many times, great times I've had playing music. I'm not sure that I can point to one specific one. Yesterday was a very enjoyable day for me. Yes.
All right, there is one more question. If music is a color, what color is it to Dan?
Well, I'm not a blues player, but I guess still some of the feelings and sentiments that come through my songs are a lot of the same feelings that are in blues. So I guess blue would probably be my choice.
All right, this is Steve once again here at Brucci's. And in front of me, I have the lovely Marcy. And Marcy's going to tell us what is it that brings her to these venues. And I know Marcy does travel to a number of these venues in town. She's a music lover. Why, Marcy? Tell us that. What is it that does it bring you to a happy place? What does it do for you?
Music saved my life when I was a child, and it saved my life when my husband died. I was always a trumpet player, but then ceased playing for years and years, then took it back up after I became a widow, and sometimes you can't go back, and that's what I found about the trumpet. So I found I was better to be just a listener, and I enjoy music. It does bring me to a happy place. I can reflect back on good times. It inspires me. I love all types of music, especially music that's old-time rock and roll. I love Mike Shackelford's music. I love folk music. I love jazz. And it's something that I will always continue to love as long as I live.
So, Marcy, when you come into a venue like this, obviously the entertainers are important, the music is important. How much for you is it the energy of the room? Is that important? Does that help you with your own groundedness, with your own connection to who Marcy is, the camaraderie, the relationships? Even if you don't know the people, it's like you're all sharing something. Does that come in to play with you?
Yes, it does. I think the energy in the room is very key. It doesn't have to be a huge crowd, but it's the energy, the field of energy. It's the energy that the musicians spread out, but it's also the energy of the people that are in the room. It makes a big, big difference. I have even left venues where the energy was so low.
If music is a color, what color is it? If music is a color, what color is it?
Music is always aqua, ocean blue, Bahama blue, that peaceful, wonderful color.
Excellent. Marcy, thank you so much. And folks, we'll be back. We got a line of people wanting to speak tonight. All right, we're back here at Brucci's, and I've got Olivia sitting here with me. She is, lucky for us, the youngest one in the room tonight, I think. And so we're going to get the perspective from the younger generation. She plays a little guitar. I think she's overly modest with that. She writes music, writes lyrics. And so, Olivia, what we've been talking about tonight is we're sitting in this music venue. We're hearing another guest. Tim's up now. I interviewed him a little while ago. And the people on the stage, they get connected to the music, obviously. You're not playing tonight. You're sitting here in the audience. What does music do for you when you listen to it? How does it make you feel? How does it make you connect to Olivia?
Well, really, music sort of amplifies all of my feelings. When I'm happy, I listen to music. When I'm sad, I listen to music. And it makes me feel what I'm feeling, but stronger. And that's really helpful for me because I have a hard time feeling emotions sometimes. I like to sort of distance myself from that. But when I listen to music, it just allows me to be myself and have my own emotions.
That's really cool. And so, and you said it's the range of emotion. It's not just I turn on the music when I'm in my happy place. It's sometimes when you want to get to your happy place, right? Do you have a favorite type of music, a favorite genre of music?
I don't really have a favorite genre. Pretty much everyone in the 27 Club are like, those are my absolute favorites. Nirvana being my all-time. But my taste in music's pretty diverse. I listen to a lot of different stuff.
When you're sitting here and you're sitting in a Brucci's like this and you just look around at people, do you have any sense of how the music connects with them? Any sense of how they might be feeling with this music?
Well, I know from personal experience how much it helps me, but I can't really assume that it helps everyone the same way I do. So, I mean, when I look around at people's body language and their facial expressions, that's what really cues me into how they're feeling. And I like to do that. It's kind of comforting to see how it affects people in different ways.
Are you sure you're the youngest person here? You're speaking like you got this wisdom of decades. Just phenomenal. All right, I'm going to ask you one last question. If music is a color, what color is it for Olivia?
I think it's white to me. I think it just represents a real, not all of it, mind you, but a real innocence and just creative bliss. And I don't know, I love that about it.
As you were talking, looks like a groupie came down and sat next to you here. Would you like to address music and how you would? Okay, we have sitting next to us Carla. So Carla, tell us about music and how it affects you.
Okay, well, for me, music is a chance to escape from what normally is a very regimented life, a busy life, and sometimes the amount of noise that's in my brain I feel like is almost too much. So for me, music is an escape and a chance to just really be myself.
Yeah. Is there a certain genre for Carla?
There is no certain genre for me. I'm all over the board. Olivia could tell you that if I'm in traffic, it's classical music. It settles me down. When I'm in the woods at Springfest over in Sewanee, it's bluegrass, and depending on whether or not we're out at a club someplace together, Olivia and I, it might be rock. So it's really just a matter of the mood and the location, and I think it's kind of equal opportunity.
Music is a color. For Carla, the color is?
For me, the color is the color of the ocean. So I know that changes quite a bit, but it's a blue that is all-encompassing. It's everything and it's nothing. It really, you could be anywhere or you could be nowhere. So.
All right, Olivia, thank you very much. Carla, thank you very much. We'll be back. We have lines out the door waiting to get into the studio booth here. All right, we are back. We have a new performer on stage, and we have a new person in the studio booth here at Brucci's. We've got Bill sitting in here with me, and Bill performed earlier. In fact, I've been working all night, so I can't hear and enjoy. I can hear it, but I can't enjoy it. But you sounded wonderful, Bill. What we're looking at tonight is the impact of music on people. And in particular for Bill, when it comes to music, how does that help you connect with your happy place? How does it get you out of maybe your unhappy place? How does it help you with your own well-being and your resilience? And you're a performer. How does that help? And is that different than when you're an audience member? So take any of those and kind of go with that.
Well, I guess I could start by saying that music has always influenced me. It's one of those things where if I happen to be in a conversation and music is in the background, it's really hard to concentrate on the conversation. Music has always been very important to me. I've been a singer-songwriter. I've been performing for nearly 50 years now. professionally for 40 of those years. Over in Tampa Bay, playing mostly at resort hotels and nicer restaurants right along the water there. It's great. Got to go to the beach and make a living doing it, so it was great. But I was always tuned into my own muse. It's funny, I even rarely listened to the radio stations because mostly what was on the radio would make steam come out of my ears. But I always had my own soundtrack running in my brain, and so I've written tons of songs. I've got a few CDs out, and it's just probably the most important thing in my entire life. It got me everything else that I have, and it keeps me sane. Yep.
Yeah, I've heard that at one level or another tonight. Sanity. It's my time to decompress for some folks. And you, as you're saying, this has been a lifelong avocation, in some cases vocation for you. It has really sounds like it's opened up your life. Are there multiple levels of connection with the music? That is there like, wow, I wrote that song and I'm feeling pretty good about that, or wow, I just hit a good lick, or wow, that lady in the front row has got tears in her eyes. And they're appropriate tears. She got the song. Or people are laughing and they got the song. Do you have that kind of level of emotion?
Oh, I definitely feed off of the reaction of the crowd. Always. I feed on it. I get energy from that. Music just gave me everything, including my wife. I somehow managed to win her heart from the stage, and that's a story of its own right there. But it's the essence of my life. It's everything. It's everything.
When Bill thinks about music, what color is music for Bill? All the colors in the spectrum. What color?
Yeah, I'd have to go multiple. I think probably because of the way that I made my living. I mean, I would go over the bridge onto the beaches, and I would see that gorgeous ocean and the beaches and the palm trees and say, I get paid for doing this. You know, it would have to be that picture in your mind rather than just one color, because songs have so many different, every song has its own texture and color. It depends on if it's a dark or sad song or if it's a happy song. But I got to do it all from some of the most beautiful places along the coast of Florida.
All right, we're back. We got Dawn sitting in the studio booth right now. And we have young Olivia up on the stage. You might be able to hear her in the background. We talked to her a little earlier. But Dawn, what we were talking about with all of our guests tonight, and I'd like your input. When you come to a place like Brucci's or any music venue, what is it that the music does for you? What is it the venue does for you? Why is music important to you?
Well, I come here a lot because I have good friends that come here and they enjoy this, and so I come and spend time with them. So music has a tendency to do things, bring people together. But I think in general, music for me is youngest memories of my life or of my parents and a very long walnut stereo in the mid-century when I grew up, and the Platter's Greatest Hits and Tommy Edwards music playing. And from as young as probably 4 or 5 years old, I can remember knowing every word to every song of my parents' music. So kind of cool that even though it was earlier than me, it gave me kind of a perspective of who they were and what they loved. My parents loved to dance, and they loved not hip hop. They love like bebop music. Yeah. Yes. So Bill Haley and the Comets, Elvis. My mother's a huge Elvis fan. I count myself as very fortunate to be my age and having. I went to an Elvis concert with my mom, and so people look at me now. I'm like, oh my God, Elvis has been gone so long. But my mom took me to Elvis, which was my first concert, which is kind of a cool marker for me. Probably too, what I am a like fanatic though music fan of the 70s, and with all of the things that people have available now, when I was of music growing up age, there was one radio station that played top 40 hits, and I would go on, I would go in the newspaper every week and cut out the section of what the top 40 hits were, because I wanted to see where my songs were each time. We didn't have that many choices. So because we were all kind of grounded in that same time period, I feel lucky that I have people that when you hear that music, when we put together reunions, when we do that kind of stuff, that music is what joins all of us together. My niece now, I just wonder when she goes to high school reunions, because there's so much available and everything is so eclectic, what will bind them like I've been bound to my friends based on a lot of things musically that we all loved.
So what really spoke to me in your early comments was music has been a family affair. I mean, it was part of your upbringing. Your parents loved it, and you loved it, and you loved their music. And you can remember back to the big stereo in the living room, which was a piece of furniture back then, right? I do remember having one, or my parents having one, yeah. If music is a color, what is the color of music for Dawn?
Orange. Orange, yeah. Orange is everything happy and bright and retro, frankly, and I'm a little bit retro. So in my taste now, I'm very much a huge follower of Earth, Wind, and Fire, so I'm kind of a groupie almost. But I just think that era and that color brings me to that place.
All right, there we go. We're finished on that retro note, and we'll be right back. All right, folks, we're sitting here now, but we're sitting here with royalty. This is the Mike Shackelford. You've heard people talk about him. He opened up the night tonight, and we're going to ask Shaq, the master of ceremonies here, the maestro. We have somebody else that sat down. This is Mr. Buddy. And Buddy, what is your claim to fame here?
Steve, I own Brucci's Pizza, and Mike's been playing with us now for about 8 years, and he started on Saturday night as kind of a house band, and he approached the family, and he said, "I've got an idea for Monday night, for an open mic night." And I talked to Mike, and I said, I don't want it to be karaoke, and I want it to be quality music. And I said, I trust you, man. And it's taken off, and it's just been an unbelievable night for us. It's a great way to start the week. People love it. We've got regulars here that have been here, almost every Monday night that we've been doing it. And it's instead of looking forward to the weekend, I swear I look forward to Monday night.
And I love the way he started that we had him talk to the family. It's a family business. All right, so Shaq, we're back to you. Music, connection to well-being, the connection to health. How? What levels for you?
Well, as I've said many times before, music has been everything to me my whole life. As long as I can remember, I had a transistor radio stuck in my ear, listening to singing at church, and it's always been something that has always brought me comfort, whether it's at a sad time, a happy time, somewhere in between, not knowing how to, get from one place to the next, 1 year to the next. As you go through life, there's always a connection to music for me. I can always hear a certain song and be transported back to the first time I heard it. And I try to give that to everybody that comes to hear me play. I know that, I play my originals when I know that there are people in the audience that are connected to my original songs. If it's someone in the audience that just loves Van Morrison, like we're hearing behind us, if it's someone who likes Springsteen, anything that I do, if I can connect that bridge with them musically, like it's been done for me my whole life, that's my mission in life, is to do that.
Yeah, music's about relationships, and you're a master at that, in all seriousness, because I had said this earlier when I was talking with somebody tonight. You're one of those performers that it's not about you, behind that microphone. It's about the people out in front, and it's that connection, because you never know what that song means to somebody. And I know you've learned songs for people, whether it's for weddings or whatever it might be. And you've been, Buddy, so excited about what's happened over these years, 8 years. What's the biggest thing you've noticed about the crowd that comes in? Not necessarily the size of it, although that's part of it, but do you see something about how they have ended up connecting with one another?
Monday night has become a family. I mean, people come in and sometimes people won't sit down because they're shaking hands, they're hugging, they're greeting each other. And it's like, and if we're extremely busy, it's like there's a bottleneck at the front of the restaurant because people are just stopping right there as they're greeting Mike or saying hello to Mike, or they're greeting each other and saying hello to each other. But it's become a huge family here on Monday night. The same people have been coming every Monday night. My servers know what they want to drink, where they want to drink it, where they want to sit. Mike has become such a huge part of Brucci's Pizza. It's just a huge family, and the people that have come in on Monday nights and even Saturday nights, because we have a different group that comes in on Monday night, and then we have a different group that comes in on Saturday night, and both nights it's the same thing. It's a family Saturday night and it's a family Monday night, but it's just incredible. I've never looked back on my decision to bring a live musician in, and especially the caliber of Mike. And just a short sidebar story, when Mike and I first started doing music here, it was because of a tragic fire down in some apartment complexes down on Hodges Boulevard. And I asked Mike if he would do a benefit so we could raise money and raise food and everything. And he asked me, he goes, have you ever thought about doing live music in here? And I said, I love live music. My first job was at a radio station right out of University of Florida, and I love music. But I told Mike, I said, I can't afford you. I know you, Mike, and I know your reputation, and I know your whole legacy in Jacksonville. And Mike was so gracious, and he goes, give me a number. And I gave him a number, and he goes, what night? And I said, Saturday night. And he goes, okay. And we have been forever blessed with this man, and I say that from the bottom of my heart. And I don't think we'd be here doing this tonight and still having Brucci's without Mondays and Saturday nights and what Mike has brought to the table. And it's because of music, and it's because people's love of music and what Mike does in Jacksonville and in the entertainment industry here locally. So I owe everything to this man.
Yeah. All right, guys, last question. Asked everybody else. If music is a color, what color is music for you? We'll start with Mr. Shackelford.
Well, I'm going to say blue. And I say blue because it's my favorite color. And when I see lots of blue sky, lots of blue water, it just goes on and on. It seems endless, and I think that's what music is, endless.
I'd say blue too, only because blue is my favorite color, but I see blue as a very positive color, and that, and people go, I got the blues, but I see blue as a positive color, and that it just brings happiness to everybody. But that's what I think of blue.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Shaq. And that's going to close it down. Brucci.